Does this possibly still alive Ghostface deserve forgiveness? Well, let's talk a little bit about it.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
I want to be a fighter, like you.
Oh, let it burn! Let it burn!
Did you miss me?
You have to shoot them in the head. They always come back.
The boat can leave now. Tell the crew.
But sometimes that is better.
Good luck.
Hey everybody, I'm Killjoy Jake, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. If you like horror flicks just as much as I do, then make sure to like this video and subscribe for more theories just like this one. Also, the best way to support the channel is by becoming a Patreon supporter, where you'll get exclusive perks like trailer reactions and bonus review videos. Become a Patreon supporter today by clicking on the link in the description below. Thank you to everyone who keeps me in business. Now let's get into today's theory. Assuming that Stu Macher is alive, some fans believe that this character deserves a redemption arc. After killing multiple people during the original massacre and potentially being kept away at the Fallbrook Psychiatric Hospital in secret for the last 30 years, Stu now decides to help our heroes stop the new killer. This has been a pretty interesting theory going around the Scream Talk towns, and I actually don't hate it. My biggest problem with dead characters in general returning is that they would become the Ghostface killers in a new movie. That is the last thing I want to see happen, but I don't know if I necessarily care all that much about a dead character coming back to life. I mean, isn't that kind of what we just did with Kirby? I didn't really have a problem with that. Diving deeper into this, a proper murder mystery relies on rewarding the focused viewer during the reveal. If none of the clues amount to anything or the suspects present don't end up being the big reveal, then you've effectively wasted your audience's time with a major runaround followed up by a sucker punch. Remember when Hard Eyes kind of made fun of that with its like joke initial reveal? It would be the same thing here. Also, a Scream movie would lose so much rewatchability if the reveal was a character who hadn't been seen throughout the entire flick until the end. You can't just have Stu show up within the first 15 minutes and be a part of the gang again like nothing happened 30 years ago. There would be no hidden clues to go back to and a bunch of baseless plot points fueling a false direction. That would make for such a sloppy film that really the only thing going for it is nostalgia and fan service, something that literally every other franchise that's getting a revival right now is doing. Scream is punk rock. Scream is against the grain. Scream is the opposite, the antithesis of exactly that. With all of that being said, I love Stu Macher, probably one of my favorite ghost faces ever, and that is mainly because he's played by Matthew Lillard. If they found a different way to bring him back into the franchise, I don't know if I would have a huge problem with that. You can argue all day that it wouldn't be logical for him to survive after he received multiple stab wounds and a CRT television to the dome that crushed his head into smithereens, but trying to find perfectly sound logic in this franchise is a task for a fool. Dude, none of these movies make any sense at all. Do you really think that an angry, upset mother who lost her child would pretend to be a reporter in order to get closer to one of Sydney's acquaintances that she honestly doesn't even really like that much at the time? No, Debbie Salt would just go out, buy a gun, and then face Sydney herself. She wouldn't make a whole stink and massacre about it. If you want perfectly sound logic in a horror film, go put on a true crime documentary. That's just not what the Scream franchise is all about. I'd rather roll around in the fictional soap opera fun that Ghostface tends to bring. And yes, I guess that was sort of a defense for Debbie Salt, my least favorite Ghostface, for once. Real quick, shameless self-promotion. Did you guys know that we have a brand new Stu is Daddy shirt at the shop? You can show off to everybody on February 27th when Scream 7 comes out that Stu is your father figure, if you know what I mean. Grab this shirt while supplies lasts. This thing will be gone forever on January 31st, the last day to get it, and that's coming up real soon here. This Saturday, that's the last day to pick up this shirt. Go get it while you can. The link is in the description below. So a lot of people are already thinking it based off of that teaser trailer we got at the top of January. Could Stu Macher be the character that Gail and Sydney visit at Fallbrook Psychiatric Hospital? Maybe, but today's question is more so revolving around, does this character deserve that kind of redemption arc? Is this character there hoping to help Sydney and Gail? Is that even something built in, programmed to this character? I would personally argue hell no. Many Scream fans have pointed out that Stu's answer to what his motive is might be a sign of being a victim himself. He tells Sydney over the phone that his motive is peer pressure, alluding to Billy forcing him to do all of this. Something else they've alluded to is that Billy and Stu's plan is this big thing that they've been working on for a very long time, like over a year before the events of the original Scream film. Stu Stu kinda seems into the crazy idea of doing a horror movie, but in real life.
Watch a few movies, take a few notes. It was fun.
I mean, he's cracking jokes about how Casey's liver was found in the mailbox. He calls the celebration of the Ghostface killer at the high school Christmas at one point, and he downplays and makes fun of pretty much every violent act that happens in the film. Stu is silly, cracking some jokes, but he's pure evil, man. On top of all of that I've already talked about, he's also super misogynistic towards Tatum, treating her like less than human the entire flick.
It's because there's no way a girl could have killed him. Casey and Steve were completely hollowed out. The fact is, it takes a man to do something like that.
I always had a thing for you, Sid.
Outside of the silly bits, Stu is a major dickhead. This character does not deserve to be a good guy now. There is a character that many believe was a Ghostface killer that does deserve some love, however. Angelina Tyler, played by Emily Mortimer, is the actress that plays Sidney Prescott in Stab 3 during the events of Scream 3. She comes off as a little odd as she obsesses over Sidney and is constantly in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's revealed later on in the film that she was taken advantage of by John Milton, the producer of the Stab franchise, in order to get the lead role in the film. Many fans believe that she was some sort of secret ghost face during the events of Scream 3, as it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense that Roman was able to do all of this on his own, but I just feel like that might send the wrong message about what this character is all about. I think it would be great if it was revealed that this character survived and was healing not from the stab wounds she suffered back in the early aughts, but rather the trauma from her time in Hollywood. Scream at its core has always been about representing different aspects of the world through a better lens than other horror flicks out there. The genre oftentimes will depict a psychiatric hospital as a loony bin filled with deranged maniacs, when Scream could show it for what it really is, a place for broken people to overcome their unique obstacles. This would extend that awesome commentary in Scream 3 that I think gives that third film so much weight, and also add to the wholesome flavor that these movies tend to deliver on. I've heard a few people recently called the Scream franchise comfort horror, and I kinda love that. Sure, I always want to see Ghostface get some bloodier kills in these movies, but I think I always want to see the good guys come out on top at the end. That triumph in the third act adds to that warm blanket feel of this franchise that I think is really important in capturing the DNA of Scream. Don't get me wrong, I love Matthew Lillard so much, and I want to see him involved with this franchise for years to come. But to come back as Stu, I really feel like the only way you could do it is in some sort of like weird pseudo Hannibal Lecter style role. Not as the character under the mask again, oh no, we've already played that game. Maybe Stu has been kept in a maximum security prison this whole time that was kept a secret from Sidney as a way to protect her, I guess. Treating him as a dim-witted Hannibal Lecter who is fooled into giving information to our characters in order to aid in their investigation. That would work for like a single scene in my opinion, but I think we can do better than that. The best way, in my humble opinion, to bring Matthew back into the franchise is to introduce him as a brand new character altogether. I suggested this before Scream 6 came out, that maybe he could have played a professor at Blackmore University, in a similar role of sorts to Robert Englund as Professor Wexler from Urban Legend. He could be a good guy who doesn't have a history of being a dick.
Fucking hit me with the phone, Dick!
Especially after losing Dewey in Scream 5, I think it would be kind of cool to have like another constant character that was like coming back for each new movie. Maybe someone who has a fresh story to tell too. When Tatum goes to college inevitably in Scream 8, you could just say he's one of the professors helping her out. Maybe he's even a red herring. There's so much possibility with that, I think. Crazier things have happened in franchise continuations, and I would love to see this happen for the actor who I just love with my whole heart. He really is one of the good ones. Dude is also having a very deserved renaissance right now. Get him back in Scream, just as a brand new character. While I don't know if there's anything else left to write with the character of Stu Macher, I do think that there's potential for Matthew Lillard to come back to this franchise and play an all-new character. Why do we have to landlock him to Stu, especially in this campy, fun, over-the-top franchise? These are just my thoughts, of course, but what do you guys think about a Stu Macher return, Angelina Tyler still being alive, and Matthew Lillard coming back to this franchise as a brand new character? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.